Hello, everyone. Welcome to Our Kind of Homesteading. We're your hosts, Jerry
and Shauna.
And today, from a request of, was it Karen?
Yeah.
Kathleen?
Karen.
We are talking about bees.
Bees. So
we're not the beekeepers in the family. Shauna's father-in-law is the beekeeper, and we get all the honey we could possibly want, and it's a good thing because we have crazy addictions.
We do. We have a problem when it comes to honey. I want all the honey. I love my honey bucket.
All the honey.
My honey bucket is like less than halfway full, and it's making me sad. I'm like, oh no, my honey. My honey bucket.
You're like Pooh Bear.
I know. Anyways, so we haven't talked about bees because, like, we know stuff about bees, but we, like Sherry said, we are not the beekeepers. My father-in-law is. So I guess... I don't know. We didn't want to sound like we were being like frauds or something.
Well, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, I just don't tend to beehives.
Right.
Not my skill set.
Not my skill set. But I
guess it could be my skill set. I just have a lot on my plate right now, and I couldn't imagine piling it higher with things.
Yeah, because beekeeping does take a fair amount of time and, and learning. It's not like an easy thing to learn how to do.
No.
Like, I would say,
lots of trial and error.
Yeah, I would say, like, making bread is easy, right? Like,
yes.
There's a lot of things for homesteading that's easy, right? But doing this, there's a lot of things that you need to know before going into beekeeping. There's a lot of things you need to acquire before you get into beekeeping. It's just a lot. The learning curve's a lot, steeper.
Yeah.
So anyways, so if you do want to get into beekeeping yourself, it obviously the things we do know, bees are amazing for pollination. They really do help your garden if you are gardening, or you have like an orchard, fruit trees, or really anything. They are, they're beneficial, obviously, even if you just have a hive or two hives just for your family. It's not like you have to have, like my father-in-law has like 300 or something insane.
Well, and that's, okay, so if you were only needing like a hive and you're like, oh, we just want honey for our farm and our family, and you weren't planning on either selling honey or renting out the hives, you don't need 300 hives, obviously. You would just need like one or two, that's sufficient. And so, the amount of work for that, I don't know if obviously it's going to be a lot less than 300. Like Shauna's father-in-law, like he rents out the beehives, and that's actually where the money is. So if you're thinking to get into bees for money, that's where you would want to go with that. It's not necessarily, oh, I'm gonna get into bees and sell the honey and make money. Like you're gonna make a bit.
Yeah, but you're gonna make the majority from leasing the bees.
Exactly, because all of those orchards and everywhere that grows really anything, the pollinators are essential for them, and it makes their lives a lot easier. And so they pay good money to get a couple beehives on their property.
Or not a couple, but like, a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple hundred
depending
beehives,
on how big their operation is.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're like, oh, I'm going to get into bees and make money, then that would be your end goal, was to have like hundreds of hives. You're transporting them from orchard to orchard and, whatever. So that's...
Yeah, but that's like a lot, obviously.
That's a full-time job, though.
Yeah, and it's like the equipment, like not only, you need the truck, you need somebody to be able to drive the truck that has like a flatbed, trailer, whatever. Like there's just a lot more, like the equipment, even for extracting honey, all that honey that you're going to have,
right.
My father-in-law has the huge freaking, what's it called? The, spinning around-y thingy.
I'm sorry, I can't help you with this one. But you're doing an excellent job trying to explain the word.
Honey extractor. Anyways.
She's like, well, I've given up. That's all I have. Got a couple sound effects.
Yeah. So if you're only getting into it, like you have like a homestead and you want like a hive or two on your homestead to help out with your garden, so you do have the honey available, because like honey is literally like it's your sugar. So if like you can use it in anything you want. We use it a lot in just teas, but we still use it in cooking. Like,
I use it a lot in baking.
Especially baking, like if you're baking like breads and stuff that require sugar, you just replace it with honey. Obviously, you make a lot of like medicines out of honey.
And honestly, breads made with honey, they taste a lot better than just breads made with sugar, in my opinion. It just gives it just such a different tastes. And I mean, I just love honey though. But
I love honey too.
I mean, I know.
I love sugar. But all the things that you can do and make with honey. So it is like if you do have like a homestead and you are trying to be more sustainable, like I totally would recommend getting into it. But if you're like jumping into a homestead right now and it's like you're just starting off, I wouldn't maybe do it right now. I would wait until you don't have as much on your plate. Like when you're just starting off,
Right.
everything seems so overwhelming if you're new to it.
It's hard to learn. It's hard to learn like 10 different things at once. And so, think about like, I don't know, learning a new fucking language. Like you wouldn't learn 10 at once. You would learn one at once. So
That's a great analogy.
yeah, you're welcome. So, like Shauna said, if you're just getting into homesteading, maybe give it a bit. Definitely, you can start learning. You can start opening books, reading. You can usually different community centers and gardening places. They'll have bee classes, like honey classes, bee classes, whatever you want to call them, and like beekeeping. There
and
you go.
you should honestly do all those classes and stuff way before you would get a hive.
Before, don't get
You don't
like,
get a hive and then you'd be like, oh, they're
like
swarming.
I think the
and
only
have no
time in
idea what to
life
do.
that you learn as you go is parenting. That's it. It's the only time you should learn as you go, right? Like obviously you're always learning, but when you have the most knowledge that you possibly can, like because
they
of
still
reading,
offer
because of
parenting
classes.
but yeah.
Well,
but
there's
like,
a shit ton of parenting that they don't teach you in any class.
That's true.
Or any book.
But like with anything, like
But as
obviously,
with anything, yeah, I suppose,
like you're gonna
yeah.
learn more like on the job than you are.
But learn
with
as much
classes.
as you
But
can.
you should, yeah.
And then
And Facebook has a ton of like
Take your time.
of groups, like bee groups. I don't know what to call them. Beekeeping groups. There you go.
And you can even learn a ton just by stalking those groups, just like by just reading comments and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy what you
We
can learn
promote
if you just
Facebook stalking.
I don't mean stalking in a bad way.
No,
You're
I
just in
know.
a group and you're like, I'm here to learn.
I was just giving you shit.
Don't make any negative comments. Don't be an asshole who thinks they know more than anyone else because you don't.
Because you don't. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and then you can weed out the people that just think they know more, but they actually don't.
That exactly, right? And then when you do ask questions, and then that person that comes on is like, "Oh, I know everything." You're like, disregard. You don't have to say you're going to disregard him or her.
Disregard.
You just don't. You just
you
disregard.
comment back. Disregard. I'm gonna start doing
You're like,
that.
what? You're like, disregard in all caps.
So funny. Oh, I have a couple people I could totally do that too. Man, oh man.
See, my Facebook has been shut down. It has been so nice.
I know.
I'm really bummed that I lost like all my pictures because I've had it since the day I was a baby. So highly unfortunate. But
You should have had Google Photos.
I have for like a year or two now. But obviously it doesn't make up for everything that was on there. But anyways, even Google Photos has limits, by the way.
Doesn't have limits.
It does. I've already reached it. So
Well, just
here
buy
I
some
am.
more.
just
Buy
buy
more
some
limits.
I would like to buy all the limits.
All the limits. I need all of them. Yeah,
But it's nice not to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
It can be so annoying, and just so many people think they know
I ju-
exactly everything.
Well, not
And you're
just
just
that,
like,
but
stop.
like you just get like, especially like, we're trying to promote our podcast and stuff like that. So you're like social media is like a thing, right? That we have to do. It's just part of it.
Right.
Like the Instagram and the
Right.
Facebook and fucking TikTok and shit. And so like then you just find yourself just on it, just
Yeah,
scrolling
yeah,
for no
exactly.
fucking reason. And
Exactly.
I was like, and it just eats your time away. I'm like,
You look at your hand, you're like, stop. Your hand's like, no. You're
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Stop.
It's just annoying. Like I really, that's why I love when we go like somewhere like camping or whatever where you can't, where you
Yeah,
don't
no
have
cell service.
cell service. Like
Yeah.
it's so like
Yeah,
he's kind of
freeing.
like, yeah, it is. My fucking phone got water in it today and I had to like turn it off, It's like I had to turn it off, but I was just like, you have to be off. But I'm
I
like,
have an excuse.
but I just need to like do that more because I really don't. I get sucked into it. I still do, but I don't like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's not like I'm like enjoying my time, like
No,
scrolling through
no.
Facebook.
I'd
If
much
anything,
rather-
it's like gives me anxiety.
I'd much rather watch like
A show.
a show that means absolutely nothing. I can just like veg out on. You know what I mean? That's what I would much rather do. Like, Facebook.
I'm
So
watching
toxic.
the new Umbrella Academy right now.
Shows for me
Super
have
good.
to be really, me.
Yeah.
funny, lighthearted.
You wouldn't like it at all. You would hate it, actually.
I've already seen parts of the first season, and
Did you hate it?
of course I hated it. I don't like
So
that
good.
kind of stuff.
It's so good. I like it.
No, it's not. It's not good.
It's fun. I'm looking forward to the new Stranger Things coming out, too.
See, you know what you just said about Facebook being stressful? Like those kinds of shows are seriously stressful to me.
Well, it's not real.
Irrelevant. It's nuance. It's an idea then that's put into my brain, and then I have to live with for the rest of my life. It's like
What?
trying to unsee something.
What are you talking about? What do you have to live with?
Weird things and icky, gross,
You're-
just weird.
Oh, you would have hated the new Stranger Things. That like tripped me the fuck out. I don't know if you guys watch Stranger Things, but this last season, I was just like, fucking whoa. Like I was like, whoa, whoa.
I don't know
like-
if I signed up for this.
And I was like watching it. I was like by myself that day, like randomly. I'm never by myself, so it was weird, anyways.
I
And
had her
so-
kids.
Yeah, Sherry had my
She
kids.
was truly by herself.
And so it was, I was like watching it, and that's this one scene. I won't tell you, no spoilers, so it's okay. But like, it like, you know, it was shocking. I was by myself, and I was like, I'm a wee bit scared right now.
Just a wee bit. Maybe turn on extra lights.
I know. I
Yeah.
was just like,
Give me your dogs.
okay. I was like, maybe I do need to scroll through Facebook. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff, like shows like.
You know,
that,
I
like,
don't.
get
I
into
don't
it.
want to be
because then
stressed.
it's not
and it's
stressful.
weird
to me.
and creepy.
It's just like fun, you
and
know.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't get
That's
stressed,
good.
and it's like it's the opposite for me.
Yeah, no. See, and I have very much like I used to like let friends talk me into horror movies.
No,
why?
I don't watch horror movies.
Why? What you explained on Umbrella Academy? That is
Umbrella
classified
Academy? That's
Umbrella?
not horror. Stranger Things.
whatever.
I don't think it's horror.
What you explained was
Like
horror.
this last one was definitely like, you know, it was teetering on the edge of like.
There was no edge.
Horror.
It went way over the edge, way down into that.
I was
poor-
all like, ugh. I wouldn't even tell you the scene because you'd be mad at me for even like telling
I will
you.
be mad at you. Don't
Yeah.
tell me. I don't want to know.
I know.
No,
I,
no
like-
knowledge needed.
I was like, that was, and then they showed it so many times. I was like, why do we have to keep showing the scene? We get it. It's scary as fuck. Everybody knows.
Scary as fuck. Check. Moving on. Yeah.
Very disturbing. Did our light just move?
It did.
Oh, that was weird. It's gonna,
Oh, it shifted.
it's gonna fall. We need more tape.
Hold on, I'm gonna fix it.
You have to get up with your pregnant belly.
Yeah. I'm
If
gonna fix
anything,
it.
oh look, he's here, honey. Our light's
you
falling.
came in, our light is literally. Honey, our light.
Honest is saving the day
Oh,
Like more tape.
again.
It
Wait.
literally just started falling.
It just
shifted a
started
second
like
ago.
just as I was
but
trying to.
this- I thought you were gonna replace the tape last time.
Oh well,
I set it up. I didn't know I was supposed to place a tape, or I wouldn't.
I had to make Sherry get up like a lightning flash with her pregnant belly. I was like, hurry, get over there.
That was really uncanny. He walked in right at that moment.
I know.
Like,
See?
what is
That was
happening?
Great. You ruined your hair loopies. Anyways, enough of Stranger Things. They don't have bees in it, so we can't talk about them. But
Your hair's
If-
doing something weird too.
well, thanks for telling me now. I
You're
asked you
welcome.
earlier,
It's fine.
like literally at the beginning. I was
I
like,
was
"Do
like,
I
yeah,
look
yeah, it's
okay?" And
fine,
she's like,
it's
"Yeah,
great."
yeah, it's fine," because she like doesn't care.
No, it's not that I don't care.
Fucking
I
rude.
got here late. Didn't see my husband yesterday. Not that I really want to see my husband, but my kids. Well, they might not want to either. But
does-
he wants to see them, and he gets upset if he
You're
doesn't.
mean.
And
You're so
I have to.
mean.
Is that me being mean going home to see him?
You saying
That's
that
me
you
being
don't
nice.
want to see him.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said, "Well, I don't really want to see him."
Fine, maybe I did say it. I don't know. We've been married for a bajillion years. I'm see him, not see him. Like nuance. I don't know.
Move to Alaska.
Seriously.
It would be fine.
No, he really wants to.
I
He's
know
like, I'm
he
moving to
does.
Alaska. I'm like, well, you're going on your own.
Yeah.
Send money.
So-
Like, I don't know. Like, you can't go to being a hermit. Like, we need money. We need an income.
Send Starbucks funds.
That's right.
Anyways, so back to bees. We're gonna ramble on about husbands, but the what I was gonna say is like, yes, do your research and all of that. You can start looking for like if you have land or whatever. I'm assuming you do if you want bees. Start looking for a spot for your bees or that you think you'd want to put your bees because they do
They require,
yeah.
you know, you should probably shade is a good idea
They actually agree that bees do better
in sun.
when in sun, but at least like that they need the morning sun. Like they need that like
Yeah.
morning sun. They do
Yeah.
better than all shade. So I don't know. Like
Well, I would
obviously,
guess that, yes. But I mean, obviously, there's spots. I mean, there's plenty of spots on my property where there's morning shade, but or morning shade, and then as it gets later though,
Yeah,
it
then
gets
it's
the sun.
shadier.
Exactly.
They do need to be like protected from the wind, so you can't put their little door, their little house like facing like a fucking wind tunnel.
You're like, this should be comfy.
And then obviously, they do have like a decent amount. Like you have to check them, like especially if you're new to it, you'd have to go out and check your bees at least once a week, and take the frames out and make sure everybody's doing okay and everything looks good. There's so much that goes into it. That's why we're saying, to join the classes and do your research. There's even different. I don't know if this is common sense, but there's different types of bees. Like you can really choose what kind of honeybee you want to have. Like there's not just one type of bee. It's like fucking dogs or cats, It's like you can get a bee based on their temperament, or because some will produce more honey but are a little bit more aggressive, and some are super chill but they won't produce as much honey. It's just like there's all
pros and cons to each, I'm sure, just like everything else, I suppose.
just like everything else.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know. And like we even like when we put bees here fucking years ago, I was kind of like, I didn't know if my kids were allergic, and I don't know if everybody like thinks about this or if I'm just neurotic, but I was like, you know what, we should just have an EpiPen just on hand, just because like we don't know.
I mean, you are neurotic, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is not a bad idea because you don't know until it's too late, unfortunately.
Exactly. That's what I was
until
like.
you're like,
and
oh,
just-
you can't breathe. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, like I don't, you like you said, you don't know it's too late. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, it's not the first sting, but the second sting. So like you could get stung one time and be like, oh no, I'm not allergic. And then the second time you got stung, that's when you would have like a bad anaphylactic reaction or whatever, because it's like your body.
I think it could go both ways.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's true, if it's like a wives' tale or what the fuck ever. But I was kind of like, I just want an EpiPen on hand. So something to think about too for your family if like no one's ever been stung or only like a couple people have. Like
EpiPens, damn it, that fucking light.
I keep thinking like our light is flickering.
EpiPens don't last forever. It's something you'd have to replace after
Yes.
several years. So keep that in mind as well. Obviously.
Also, things with we're having terrible technical difficulties here with tape and lights.
Did your husband go out and get more tape, or he was just like, well, didn't get tape, fuck off?
I don't know. It's a great question. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. He's trying to fix it. He's usually, obviously you hear him occasionally and stuff, and we'll be making fun of him, but he has to go fix our garbage disposal because I was like doing the fucking dishes earlier, and then my feet were like completely wet, and I was like, what's happening? And our garbage disposal has like a crack in it, and so it was just like leaking out. It was so annoying. I was like, this is.
Don't you love when things like that go wrong? It's so
No.
annoying.
And I was at the same time I was like doing the dishes. I was also
obnoxious.
trying to make like the bread knots and lunch, and I have extra kids because I have my nephews for a few days, and Sherry was getting here, and our brother's here. He's on leave from the army, and so there's just so many things going on. And then like my fucking that's always when it is. Like the last time I think I had a problem with the sink, it was Thanksgiving.
It's like, today.
Yeah, not this last Thanksgiving, but it was like a couple years ago. I was like doing something, and then the sink started acting up. It was like on Thanksgiving. I was like, of course it is, of course, because you're busy and you're trying to like fly around the kitchen trying to get everything done, and their sink's all like, you know what, fuck you. You're just like, great,
That's right.
This is great. Anyway, so I was talking about the EpiPen. The other thing that you should have on hand for bee stings that I just was like, I don't know why I've never done it, but I have it, is activated charcoal. So activated charcoal is really easy. It can take out like the toxins.
Right.
And even if you're not allergic, like when I get stung by a bee, like my arm like gets really swollen for like a week and is super itchy for like a week. And I don't know if that's like a common.
No. Nope.
But same with my daughter River, when she stepped on that bee or whatever, it's like the same thing. And so like if you have bees, you definitely are going to get stung.
And so knowing that, you need to like go into it being like, okay, we're prepared, and so be proactive about possible bee stings, because like obviously you're gonna get stung when you have like freaking beehives in your backyard. Like that's most likely going to be part of your world.
You definitely are. And like they don't want to sting you. They're not like
No.
like like
and you gotta remember, when a bee stings you, they're sacrificing their life.
Yeah.
Because like all their insides are like ripped out along their stinger. So
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wonder why, right?
I don't know.
My theory is they don't bring diseases back to their hives since they live in such close quarters. And there's so many of them.
That's a great theory.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing is you don't want to wear like dark clothes around your hive roof when you're dealing with the bees because it reminds them of like bears and they attack
And
you.
they want to
So
kill you.
yeah, and then there's certain times where you do want to check. Like usually, like late afternoon is the best time to check your hives. It's when they're the most like calm.
Well, and obviously you have like a bee suit that you wear.
Yeah, and you have a bee suit. You can get all the there's equipment. There's the little smokers that like usually make them calmer that they have. But
Right.
there's a lot of equipment. It's usually like to get started with a beehive. It's usually costs around $300 just for the beehive
Wow,
setup.
that's not really a lot. I was
For like
thinking,
one hive,
I was
but
thinking a
that's
couple
not
thousand.
including. Oh no, it's like 300, and then
That's not bad.
and then you have to get your bees, which is usually about another 100. So
And so where would they get bees? That
you
just
can
is
order them. You can once you get like in a community where you're like talking to people on Facebook or like within your own little area. Like we have like our own like homesteading site and like beekeeping site for our county. So I'm sure most people have that, and then you can get them from your local beekeepers. You can like get a queen and so on and so forth. So and then you can but you can order bees like online.
Weird.
Yeah, but then you need lots of other equipment too, especially if you're getting the honey. Like there's there's this knife that it heats up and then you can makes everything a lot easier. It's very satisfying to watch like them go down the honeycomb and then the honey
it just cuts
slides.
right through,
Yeah,
like
it's
butter.
very very satisfying. So you do, and so all of that stuff is not included in that like $300. Just the $300, just the hive, like that box. It's just that.
It's just the box. And the bees
And
or just the box?
and then the what are they called? Little
Panels?
slidey. Yeah, they're not panels. Little slidey thingies. If it
Yeah,
comes to
sorry.
me, I'll shout it into the microphone.
Okay, great.
Um,
You sound like you have Tourette's.
yeah.
It's like shouting words in the microphone suddenly.
Yeah. So
That'd
like
be
we said, we
great.
don't know like a crazy amount. We can't give you a ton of information. Obviously, we hope we gave you a little bit of information. But
Well, like you get like 40 pounds of honey
that's a
per
good point.
per year.
So
And
that's
after
on
collecting-
average.
Right, and that's average. Like you might get a little bit more, you might get a little bit less. And
For
that's,
one hive, you get about 40 pounds.
and that's
of honey.
after collecting twice.
So most beekeepers collect like one. You can collect up to 3 times a year. I don't know who does that. I think most beekeepers are like once or twice a year, and it's usually in the later summer months. You don't want to collect honey anything past September, usually, depending on what hemisphere and where you live. So anything getting too close to winter. So we are northern hemisphere, so September is just a few months out from like we start really getting cold in December, and you don't want to make it. The bees need that. They're collecting their honey for the winter months. That's what they're doing, and that's for their food for their beehive for the winter. Or that's their food for all year long. But they really start bulking up and collecting a lot to get them through the winter. So, and then they'll stay basically in their hive all winter long, and they make it really, really warm by like kind of making a little, like they cuddle up against each other and like a little bee slumber party.
It's adorable.
And
Does anyone have any pictures of bee slumber parties?
yeah.
I'm going to Google
And
it
then-
later because that sounds adorable.
And you can still check your beehives in the winter, but you need to like really do it very quickly. Like open up your beehive, check very quickly, make sure there's no mold happening and stuff, and then shut it because they're keeping that hive warm. And just like when you open a door in your house and you're letting that cold air in, you don't want to do that to the bees. And then you also have to feed them in the winter, which is just like a sugar water mix. And so there, like I said, there is a fair amount that goes into it.
Yeah.
But like Sherry said, you do get some, if there's a really healthy hive, you can get up to like, I think like a couple 100 pounds of honey from like one hive.
Wow.
Like, but the 40 is like average. Your first year that you have a hive, you most likely shouldn't collect honey. You should just let them have it. Just because they're new hive and they're still trying to like get their stores
Get
up.
established and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So you should probably leave them alone. So if you are getting into it, don't like be like, oh, we're gonna have honey in a few months. Like, no, you're not. You should probably wait until the second year, unless they're doing great and you're just like, okay, I have so much honey, I could definitely take some. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those little, itty bitty nuance points, they'll not nuance points, but like fine points you'll be able to learn though through classes and books and all that stuff. But I mean, getting your own honey though is fantastic.
Yeah, like we said, we use it for everything.
It saves us a ton of money because
does.
honey, the raw organic honey, like that is not cheap.
Yeah.
And when
Where
to buy in
we're
stores,
where we're at, it's like $12 a pint.
yeah.
So it's like 2 cups for $12. So I don't know where it is, how much it is like other places, if that's like good or bad. But people still buy it like crazy.
Oh yeah, well because I mean, obviously that's the price you have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, and because we use it in our elderberry syrup, we use it in our fire cider, we use it for our cough syrup, like so many medicinal things, and then
just like
Not
our
even
daily
like
teas. I mean, we have it. I mean, that's all I make in our teas usually is honey. And my kids are so funny. They take like Corelli. I didn't have honey. It was like a couple weeks ago before I got some more from you. And I gave Corelli, tea, and it had sugar in it because I don't have honey. And she was like, "Oh no, Mom, not this one. It's the other one you make." And she meant the one with honey.
She's like,
But
this
it's-
one's gross.
She's like, "This one tastes, I don't know, fake." And I was like, "Well, yeah, it is. It's just cane sugar, so I'm sure it does taste fake." But anyways,
that's cute.
It was very cute. She's like, "Oh no, not this one. It's the other one."
I've been making River like because she has like this weird like foot thing. It's like, I don't know, it's fucking hereditary, but it's like a, what is it called?
I don't know. It's just not a word day for me. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I know you're very blah. Like,
I'm trying to be funny and not blah, but I can't tell
I
you
wasn't
how
trying
much
to be offensive.
I
You
can't
just
tell
are
you how
very,
much this
like-
baby like kicks me and moves.
She's very naughty
She's
already.
constantly. Well, you know what? She's gonna be exactly like Corelli. I'm like, that's not what I said, universe. I asked for it to be exactly like Dea. That's what I asked. Not that I obviously don't love
Corelli's
Corelli.
very high spirited.
Very, very high spirited. Very.
She's a mover.
She's a mover. Always has been.
Always, yeah. And like, even where you think like you can't possibly have any more energy, and then
No.
she's like,
No, she does.
yeah. And she's not like, how there's those little girls that are like, I'm going to sit and have a tea party or color or craft. She's not that little girl. She,
So
like,
the only
I
time-
have that little girl.
Yeah, and I have one of those.
Sherry has one of those.
Yeah.
That's Dea, her older girl. But Corelli is far more like
So
has.
you know what's interesting is it's funny you said that. It's like she just can't sit down. The only time she can sit is if she is playing with slime. She loves like to make slime. That's like her thing.
It's like the
She has.
sensory.
You have no idea how many slime things she has.
I have an idea. I have. My daughter's also obsessed with slime.
It
Like
is
I literally,
ridiculous.
I don't have any fucking mason jars.
Jars.
Because
Jars. She's like, "Mom, I need another jar." I was like, "Honey, you've taken all my jars. They're
you-
all
I-
in your room."
And anything I open, there's a jar of slime. There's a jar of slime. Like
Oh my
they're
God.
just like they're everywhere. I'm just like, how many jars of slime does one child
She
need?
goes through those huge things of glue like so quickly. I feel like I
Yes.
just bought it, and she's always like, "Mom, I'm out of glue." I'm like,
You're like, no,
"No,
either learn how to make glue
no,
yourself.
That's right. Make it yourself. Okay, go find the
Figure it out.
fucking tree or whatever it comes from."
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, River's the same way. She got so much glue, so much slime. But yeah, because it helps them like
It's sensory. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it like keeps her mind going. So
Exactly.
that's
And
why
so even though she's sitting there, her hands are moving.
Yeah.
Totally reminds me of Aiden with his Legos. It's so funny. I was
That's
like,
cute.
that's exactly your brother. But anyways, the baby is always kicking me. Something inside you kicking you from the inside constantly.
so you can't sleep.
Can't sleep.
Yeah, you sound tired.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and she's also been like permanently congested since she's been pregnant.
Just permanently. Just like,
It's just
I'm always congested. Yay.
fucking fly. Get
And
the
it'll-
fuck away from me. It's like seriously like in my. What the get? It's like a gnat or something. Is it in my hair?
You look like a crazy person. It was very funny. I'm glad we caught it for YouTube.
It's like literally like up in my business. Like, what are you doing?
And then down your business.
I know. I was like, excuse you, sir.
Excuse you, sir. Take me out to dinner first.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Slime.
Slime, baby
Babies.
kicking. I don't
Tired.
know.
Yeah, Sherry's been like permanently congested since she's been pregnant. It's like crazy. Like I don't know if you've like heard her. Like this isn't like this is just permanently her.
Permanently congested. You know what's interesting? I was permanently congested with Aiden too. I remember giving birth to Aiden, and like you and Casey having to help me blow my nose when I was like giving birth to him. Not even joking. Like between
I don't
contractions.
remember that at all.
That's weird. Yeah,
Is it?
I do. It's very annoying.
So weird.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
very,
know.
very annoying.
No. I don't know. I didn't have any of those experiences. Neither one of my kids kicked me while I was sleeping.
What? Really?
No.
They just slept when you slept. They're like, okay, well, mom's going to bed. Guess they will too.
Like, I mean, maybe a little bit, but nothing like crazy where it would be like, keeping me awake. I remember sleeping all the time, especially with Ronan, who was
Oh
my
my
first.
God, so weird.
Yeah.
No.
But like even my kids outside the womb, they're pretty chill.
No, for sure. I don't know
So-
if River's chill anymore, but Ronan definitely is.
Yeah, she's a
Female,
female, 10-year-old,
going through things,
going through some shit. yeah.
hormones.
Lots of them. Sometimes like she'll be mad at me, or a lot of the time, but I don't know why.
And you're like, please just tell me.
I was like, can you just tell me what I did? I won't, so I don't do it again. But then she usually just slams her door in my face because she's mad at me. For reasons,
Still don't know why.
For reasons that I will never know. We were at actually my father-in-law's house when she stepped on a bee, because he has some hives even at his house, which they live in like a residential area, so like I guess you could keep bees.
I need to talk into your microphone.
If you are going to get into
There we
bees,
go.
and
That's
if your
much better.
neighbor has a pool, they will hate you. Just giving you a heads up. If you have neighbors and they have a pool, they're going to have a shit ton of bees at their pool. So bees require a lot of water, like to the point
Yeah.
where like you can't just like, if they'll be attracted to any large body of water that's near them. So you do need to supply them with some water. That we usually would put little like pieces of styrofoam or whatever like floating in the water, so they could, because they'll just drown themselves. They're like a fucking baby chick. So they
Brain
can get up,
stems
yeah,
and
so
all,
they
you
can
know.
get up onto it or like float something in the water. I know styrofoam sounds all like bad for the earth, but it worked. Fucking today I had a fucking, not a bee, it wasn't a bee, but I was out feeding and I went out earlier just because it's been so hot. Like it's been, and I knew it was going to get up to like the mid 90s, and I was like, I don't want to be out in that shit. And so like I was letting the kids sleep in. We had the longest fucking weekend and everyone's like fucking exhausted. So they had a lot to do. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give them another day, and they have like their cousins here and stuff. So I got up early and I went out and like I was feeding out by the chicken coop, and we have like our chicken coop chickens, and then we have our barn chickens, and we have a couple babies in the barn, and I hear the little peeping, like their little peeping, like beep 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 beep.
Yeah, like help me, people.
Like something's
Yeah.
wrong, and I was like, oh, maybe the mom just like left it, because like the moms will go out and then the baby will be like stuck behind, like in the barn, and be like, hey, I want to be with you. And so I was just like, it's fine. So I was feeding, and then I was still hearing it, and I still had like some stuff to do over at the chicken coop. I still had to like do all the waters. Then I was like, oh, I just need to walk over the barn and check, because it's still peeping. So I like go over there, and sure enough, the fucking thing is like swimming around the fucking goat's water bucket and had like fallen in. And so I had to like,
Well, it's slowly drowning. I'm not sure if it's swimming.
it was swimming quite well, actually. I was like, wow, that's kind of impressive. Like it was like doot 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 doot, like it looked like a little ducky. Like, is this like, obviously he would drown eventually, but it was
Right.
doing a good job.
Right.
Anyway, so I had to like throw the goats food, so they didn't like, because those goats in the barn are big goats and they have horns and they're kind of buttheads, and like if you get in there, they will try to kill you, or at least like injure you.
Swear to God, Shauna.
I just those two, I don't know why. And we bottle fed them. They're so mean. And I was like, you guys, you hurt my feelings. Like I raised you from a baby.
I'm going to hurt more than their feelings about this pregnancy.
They're like, anyways. So I threw them food so they would
Ridiculous.
leave me alone, so I could like pluck this little thing out of the water. But then it was all like, I tried to put it down with its mom, but its mom was all interested in food and like running everywhere, and it couldn't keep up with her because it was exhausted from just swimming around in a goat bucket. I swear to fucking God, I put fucking sticks in the water of the goat buckets,
Yeah, they take them out.
The
the
goats
goats,
take
yeah.
them out.
Yeah. They hate them. I know. We have the same problem. We try to put
Why do
sticks-
they hate them?
I don't know if I would like
Like,
sticks in my water either.
But it's not
I
your
mean,
way. You guys fucking shit in your water. Like,
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
you're-
And you drool hay in it and like what the
you're
fuck?
worried about a fucking stick in
Yeah,
it?
for sure.
They're just
I would
being
worry about your
assholes.
poop. That's what I would worry about.
I
Okay?
know. They're just being assholes. I swear to God.
No, they're just contrary. You know what I mean? They're just contrary.
No,
They're
like you put
no.
something in there and they're just like, mm-mm.
No, that's not staying in there. We started putting, like I would just stack bricks up against the side.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Get the brick out. Go ahead. Let me see you.
That's a really
Ain't
good
getting
idea.
that out, are you?
They're all like,
And they're like,
They're gonna
"Fuck,
figure this
foiled
out."
again.
and then they try to like knock it. And then they probably can't knock them over too.
Yeah, no.
We tie up our buckets. I don't know if anybody has goats out there, but we have to like tie our buckets to the side because even if the bucket is like I fill the buckets all the time, especially in the summer, but even if they're a little bit empty and they can knock them over, they will just to be fucking dicks. I don't know. Like they do it for no other reason.
I don't use. We do have a bigger. It's a pretty big fucking bucket. It's like at least 10, 20 gallons.
Yeah, we have one of those.
But then all the other pens have like big gigantic troughs that they're never tipping over. Like
Yeah.
you're never getting that over. It's just too low to the ground. There's too much water in it always.
So like inside like our night pens, we have just like buckets, right? So and then outside they have like the bigger ones.
Oh,
But like the
okay.
ones inside their night pens, they just will knock over to be shitheads. Like I'm like, why? Well, why?
Do they need water in their night pens?
Well, like I don't want them to go all night without water.
Do they eat dinner in there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
because that's
makes
that's
sense.
the only reason I can get them to go into their night pen.
Yeah.
Is if I feed them in there
Yeah,
at night.
Yeah.
So I have to give them water to keep their room in. And
I always forget you
such.
have night pens. You know, I always
I
forget.
don't have dogs running around. We've
know.
had predator issues lately. Like it's so fucking annoying. I'm so like, I need to get a fucking trail cam, but
What's
I don't.
that gonna do?
I don't know. So we can identify what it is. So we
And
can
then
be
what?
like, you know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do. And I know everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm gonna start putting like cat kibble out, so it'll eat that and not my fucking chickens.
Well,
Everything
it's
likes
not,
cat food.
Everything does like cat food. And you know what? It's not a bad idea because then they would just get full.
Exactly.
You might attract a few more, but just give them more, I suppose.
More cat kibble it is.
That's right.
You can buy the big fucking
I was
bags.
gonna say the cheap shit.
Yeah.
Like they'll fucking love it.
Who cares?
They're gonna be like, oh my god, it's my
and then
birthday.
they're not like taking my chickens. We have like, we're not really talking about bees anymore, but whatever. But
I just don't know what else. Like we got off topic, but I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about bees.
yeah. Sorry, Karen. We're not your gals to talk about bees. Hopefully, we've given you some kind of, I don't know. We've enlightened you, or
No, you
scared
did give them some good
There's
info.
some
I don't
information.
think people realize that like how much money it's gonna cost to like get started. For example,
It's
like you made a really good point of don't expect honey in the first year because your bees are getting established and acclimating to their new hive. Like there was a ton of good points made.
yeah, like we're just not, like we said, we're not like beekeepers ourselves.
yeah.
So our knowledge is limited as to bees, and that's why we really haven't done a podcast thus far on bees, and probably why we won't do another one.
Episode.
Episode.
She means episode. We're definitely not doing a whole podcast on bees. Not
Maybe
happening.
we will now. I mean, I do probably need to learn to like do it all because obviously, eventually,
Why?
I don't know. I'm assuming eventually my father-in-law is not going to be able to.
Oh, I don't know. He's so. What's the word?
Stubborn?
Yes. Speaking of contrary and stubborn, yes, very, very, very. He's like,
She shall live forever.
yeah. Exactly.
Anyways, what was I saying before that? But yeah, so I was gonna start like feeding them. We've had so many issues with I'm assuming it's a possum because it's whatever it is big enough to drag very large roosters like away to like at least the edge of the fence line.
Oh, and do they eat the whole thing?
No.
No.
So that's why I originally thought, because like the heads are taken. So my daughter is feeding the chickens because that's her job usually. And she's over there and she's like, this is really gross, okay? TMI. So don't listen to this next part if you get queasy. And she's like, Mom, there's like a tail or something on the ground. I was like, a fucking what? A tail?
Oh, it's the intestines.
Yeah. It was a fucking, and she's like, or somebody threw up a tail. And I was like, and I knew, I was like, okay, that's fucking intestines. But I wasn't going to tell her that. So I go over there, and then I was like, okay, well, if there's intestines right here, there's definitely something close by that is dead.
Very, very dead. Very, without its intestines,
And it
very
was
deceased.
one of our roosters named Sue.
Oh, didn't you hate him?
I did hate him.
Oh, well, I fucking love when, like,
Oh my God, that thing.
you better get it. It's going to fall.
I'm going to get it.
It's going to fall. I love when, like, I mean, not that I want to see them die, but I do. It is very convenient when a rooster you cannot stand, when that one is taken out. Like, fucking yes, thank you, whatever predator took him out. It's like, did you a fucking favor.
No, for sure, but it is also like.
And now that little possum or skunk is full.
Well, I don't know. So we have. Sorry if it's quiet. I can't fucking figure out my headphones because it's hard. It even says left and right. I'm like.
How do I put them on?
Because we have some, like, not all the chickens are inside the coop, and I don't know if any of you people have chickens or no, like some people have like normal chickens where everybody goes into the coop. We don't have like normal chickens. We have like these have to come over here and these have to be over here, and then we have some over there, and like everybody like. Because like this one fights with this one, and because I don't like I don't cull anybody, like we have just fucking roosters everywhere, so obviously not everybody gets along. Yeah,
that's her problem. I was gonna say I don't have separate pens. You know why? Because when I see someone picking on someone else, I'm like, honey, there's a rooster that needs killed. No, he just kills him. Like, and we feed him to the dogs or what the fuck ever.
That's mean.
It's not mean.
Because I feel responsible for them, for their lives, and that's
responsible
why
for them being an asshole, for choosing to be an asshole.
I felt really
bad. It's a choice,
that Sue
They could just
died.
be cool. They could just be chill. Just walk in the barnyard, hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
But no, they have to be Mr. Mean Guy, Mr. Like I'm gonna pick on everybody.
So we have a lot of roosters that just don't get locked up. Okay, and I know that sounds awful, but
none of my birds are locked up. Literally, none of my chickens get locked up.
You have dogs, though, LGDs
I'm just
run the property.
I don't know. Sometimes they're asleep. Sometimes they're being fat. Like, I don't know. It's like Rainbow, fat. And Caesar, sometimes down at my house, sleeping.
But you don't have predator problems, though.
No, we don't.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have dogs that run. You can have chickens that sleep outside.
I'm saying, like, literally, even if I didn't have dogs... I wouldn't be able to choose if they were sleeping outside. Half of the chickens we have are fucking feral. You know what I mean? That weird Karachi hatch breed. And they're like, fuck off, sleeping in a tree. Like, they don't go into the pen. So the guinea hens never have gone to the pen, ever.
Yeah, no, I can see that about guinea hens. But
I'm just saying, you shouldn't feel bad. Like, don't worry about it.
I do feel bad. And
you shouldn't.
Well, and then...
You're your own worst enemy.
I was like, so Sue's dead. And then I'm, like, looking around... And, like, I did have, like, crazy amount of chickens. And I was like, where is everybody? And I really hadn't noticed how many chickens had been missing until that day.
That's really funny.
It's, like, horrible. And now it's so blatant. I was like, how did I not realize that this... And, like, River would say something like, I haven't seen so-and-so. Do you know where, Felicia is? And, she knows everybody. And this one eats out of my hand. And, she's, like, attached to every fucking one of them. And, most of the ones I'm attached to, like, are, like, my coop chickens that I know, like, are safe and sound. They sleep inside of a coop.
We form attachments with the ones we keep safe.
Those are the ones that are, like, definitely going into a coop. And so, like, but I was very attached to this one rooster. His name was BB Bigfoot. And he hatched in our house, like, from an egg. And so, like, we're all very close to him, but he couldn't be in a coop. He was just a dick, unfortunately. And so he couldn't be in a coop with everybody else. And of course, and I have another, like, one, I have, like, 3 more out there. I'm like, you couldn't have taken we have one named fucking Hooper. I hate Hooper. It's like, Hooper couldn't have gotten it. It had to be BB. But I don't know what took him.
Well, leave Hooper out long enough. He'll get it.
Oh, it's freaking awful. Anyways.
Hooper, guess who gets to say it again tonight? Yeah, that's you.
Oh, he does sleep in a tree.
Oh, well,
he does sleep in a tree.
It's just a matter of time.
So anyways, we had a lot of losses lately. It's highly unfortunate. So we were trying to like think of different things. I was gonna get one of those like on Amazon, you know, the like your owl thing.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
it's like a little box, and then it's like
There you go. Like there's a monster inside or
exactly.
something.
It has like the eyes, and it's kind of like it reminds me of like a Halloween decoration.
Yeah,
you know, because it's
I
like
like it.
the face and like the eyes and
Yeah.
stuff, and to like scare away things.
The problem with the mammal predators, like we got dad, like I bought that for dad's birthday for him, just to deter the woodpeckers that are
Yeah.
pecking like a bajillion bullet holes in the back of their house. It's
It does look
psychotic.
like their house got shut up, like, you know,
It
the
really-
fucking mob came by. And
Seriously, just
like,
the whole back, and they live in one of these like it's like a tall like farmhousey like 2-story, and so it's just like that peaked, and so just it's the whole back of this house. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. But anyways, it works for birds. I don't know how long mammals would buy it
yeah, that's what I was worried about too.
because
So I was
they're a
like,
bit smarter, right?
well, and you know,
Not that
we're-
birds aren't smart, but
we
like
had talked about in our last podcast like how to keep things out of your garden, like more mammal stuff. So I was like, I could put the fucking soap out like around the chicken coop.
yeah,
but, like,
sprinklers. Nothing likes to get wet, by the way.
That's honest. It's like I'll just set up an automatic sprinkler, and
nothing
I was
likes
like,
to
yeah,
get
we
wet.
could do that. But it's just like it's just so. We'd have to do it in a lot of different locations. It's just nothing's like it's not like we just have them at the coop, you know, like chickens are getting taken over on our barn chickens. Like something knows, and I think it's a couple different things, knows that it's like easy pickings right now,
Oh yeah, they're like
you know?
midnight
And I
buffet.
know you go through this fucking light. I swear to God, we're just gonna have to like be in the dark.
No, we can. It's like it's really not. It's really crazy that the difference this makes. It's like
It
really
is crazy. Anyways, and so with the other thing, I would, you know, we have like a fence up. We have a fence line or whatever, but it is still like it's just the you know, the holes are big enough for still things to get in or climb over. I don't like using like barbed wire and stuff like that. So it's like things could still
hate
easily.
barbed wire.
Yeah, I hate barbed wire. So things can still easily like get in. It's not like
kids. I hate barbed wire. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just weird about it.
it's not like a fence, like a chain link fence around our whole 5 acres. Like it's, you know,
no.
it's just like that's impossible, right? So I guess not impossible, but it'd be
Just
really expensive.
Very improbable. Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, it's just kind of like we're just trying to figure out what to do. Obviously, without having to get like an LGD. So, like an LGD is like your best bet if you have like a predator problem. It's like we'll definitely solve it, but our dog is not a dog's dog, so.
Yeah. Well, and you okay. We got off way off topic about bees, but it's fine. It's over. So, the thing with LGDs is that it is not just like some fucking match made in heaven. Like they do come with their own set of I don't want to say problems, but I mean issues or whatever you want to say, not to deter anyone, but again, it's one of those things where you really have to do your own research. Don't just go buy puppies and then think like I'm going to learn everything as we go. Like do a ton of research and stuff because I mean, they like to wander and that is a natural instinct in them is to expand their territory. You cannot stop them unless you actually like physically stop them. Like no amount of training is going to keep them within this perimeter you want. Like no. So
We should do another LGD episode. I was thinking
we
that the other day.
should because it does come with there is
That's something we know. We can do.
That is something we know.
Multiple episodes. On
and
that.
there's also quite a steep learning curve, especially if you didn't do like any research or a ton of research or whatever. Because like my point is, don't just think you can get LGDs and then your problems are solved. Yeah, your predator problems are solved, but now you have a whole new set of problems to overcome, a whole new set of hurdles because of the dogs. You know what I mean? Like ours, because they roam everywhere. The one can jump into all the different fences. The other one's too fat, but that's fine. He actually, the one that's too big to jump fences, they both are roaming everywhere, and the one that's really big is much more like we have to lock him up when we have people come over, like really anybody. And you know he's much better at like, nope, I don't trust anybody, and I do like that about him because like I didn't just get the LGDs to keep predators away from like the chickens and the goats, but for our family, like to protect our family from like people and what the fuck ever else, right? So I don't want to use the term guard dog because I do hate that term. I think it has a very negative connotation about it. But
Agreed.
yeah. But yeah, so but anyways, yeah, there's definitely hurdles to overcome with them. And yeah.
Well, not
did
everybody
a lot
can
of
get
learning.
one like me. I
No,
can't
and
get an
like-
LGD,
exactly.
so like I have to.
So you have to figure out different
solve-
solutions.
And obviously, locking up the chickens would be the best bet. But like Sherry said, we have this really annoying breed that just likes to sleep wherever the fuck they want.
Well, and not only do they like to sleep wherever they want,
know,
they're
it would
very
be- it
feral,
would
but
be like
they
us.
also are very, very, most of them are very territorial. Now, if they have their own space, if they're allowed to have their own like sections and their own hens, then they basically can coexist. But the second you have too many roosters, not enough hens, you squish them into a tighter spot, they are literally fighting to the death. Fighting to the death. Bloody roosters, and
And
they're both
sometimes
laying there
they all
still like
have-
holding on to each other, and you're
Have
like,
plenty
ew.
of hens, and they still want to fight to the death.
Literally.
Because I don't know.
It just
They're-
takes like one thing. So they're very aggressive towards other roosters.
They're
Do
not
you know what's
aggressive towards
weird
people,
though?
though.
No, not at all. I would not have any of
I have
those.
one though that when it's feeding time and I'm like walking to where I feed him at, he runs behind me and pecks at my calves because he wants me to put the food down.
Okay, you know what's really funny is I was walking home yesterday in the morning from milking and watering the gardens, and the chicken's already been fed. Like you're good. Go find bugs. Like do what you do. Like you've had your allotment of food for the day.
Your ration.
Your ration is over. I'm walking and I'm holding milk. I'm holding the milk pan and walking downhill, and I'm pregnant. And I feel the chickens are all following me. Like they always like trail behind me, hoping that I'm going to throw them something. I don't ever have anything, but whatever. And I feel like this like peck. And I'm like, what the? And before I can even turn around, he like does it again to me. And it's this little juvenile rooster. And I turn around, I'm like, what the fuck? And he's just staring up at me like, what? I kicked him. Because like, no. And then I told Juan when he got home, I was like, there is a rooster out there, a little one. No, I am not. No, I will not have that.
He's fine. Don't kill him.
We
He's
haven't
fine.
yet.
Okay, good. He learned his lesson. You already kicked him.
He learned, well, we're test, Shauna.
I
Time is the test. We shall see if he learned his lesson.
mine doesn't do anything else besides like peck at like my feet and stuff and my calves when I'm like walking, and because he just sometimes he'll like fly up at me, but not like very crazy aggressive. He just is like, put the food down, and I'm just like, you have to wait. He's impatient.
No, the chickens all fly at us when we feed them.
Yeah.
Especially the hens. They all fly and they fly on our shoulders, and
Yeah.
the girls just like smack them off and like ridiculous.
You
They're
guys,
ridiculous.
you know what you should do one day, which would be super fun, is wait until like some people are driving by, and then do that, and then scream like like in terror, like
Like they're eating us?
like they're eating you and like attacking you, and like melt down to the
It'd
ground.
be very funny.
Get some ketchup, like it'd be so funny. People will be like, ah, like it's the birds. It's like the movie all over again.
It's a bit far from the road. They wouldn't be able to see.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sean, well, that's too bad.
You won't be able to
I'd like
traumatize
to
anybody.
traumatize someone. It's what I do.
It would just be fun. But yeah, I think, we've exhausted our bee topic very quickly. But yeah, we got into all kinds of stuff. Chickens, LGDs.
Oh, another random thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Super rando, but like, so in my greenhouse,
Give me a chicken.
I thought it was my
Oh yeah,
my
this is the
loofah.
weirdest fucking thing. Okay, I don't. If you
I thought
guys
it
have
was-
heard of this, you have to comment because I want to know.
It was weird. I thought it was my loofah plant, and then cat, shut the fuck up.
Oh, come here, kitty.
Do something.
She's just hungry.
She's
Her-
not hungry. She's obese.
Aw, oh, you can be obese and hungry. Hi, kitties.
Oh my god. Okay, Shauna's like the cat woman. That's totally who you're gonna be when you're older. By the way, I'm gonna have to like stop you. I'm gonna have to like drag you out of your house like covered in cat hair.
Aw, I don't want to leave.
We know. Anyways, so I'm thinking this. It started in my greenhouse when my starters were also in my greenhouse when I was too early to plant, and I had these like little vines, like very tiny thin vines growing rapidly, all like pretty quickly up all of my different plants, like up the peppers and some of the tomatoes. I'm like, what the fuck? I guess the loofah just wants to be planted. It's going crazy. So I separated the loofah, took off all the vines of all the plants because they seem to be like, it can't be good for them, right? It's not like You shouldn't be on those plants.
Yeah.
Well, then I get everything into the garden, and now here we are, like however many, whatever, fucking months later. Anyways, I've kind of been slacking my garden. It still looks great, but I just haven't been giving it like the attention I would have been giving it.
You're pregnant.
I'm pregnant. I don't know. What do you want? So that's my excuse. So today I'm like looking at these little vines, and again, one of my tomato plants is being really like, there's still all of my tomato plants are all in a garden bed. No loofah plant, no pumpkin plant. Like I thought it was all these different plants with these little vines. And I'm looking at this tomato plant like, why is this vine still growing? Like it literally looks like it's gotten bigger since even yesterday. Like more of it. And so I'm like, okay, so I go in there and I'm ripping it all off, delicately, because it's like it's wound so thick, so tightly around each little tomato stalk, So Shauna's cats have no manners. So anyways, and I go over to some of my pepper plants. They're in a completely separate bed. The same thing is happening with them. And I'm like, okay, where the fuck is this vine even coming from? This is obviously still growing. It's not coming out of the ground. There's nothing coming out of the ground, but it's literally growing on my plants.
I just had never heard of this until you said it.
I pick up one of the pepper plants. I haven't removed any of these vines. And I noticed there's these itty bitty light, like white clusters of what appear to be like a flower, but they're really, really tiny, and all in these little clusters in little sections on this vine going up this pepper plant. And I'm showing my brother, our brother's on leave from the military, and I'm like, what the fuck do you think this is? Like, this is the weirdest shit. He's like, I don't know, Google it. I was like, I am going to Google it. So we go home, I have the pepper plant. I'm like taking photos because I want to show Shauna. And then Spencer, our brother, Googles it. He's like, oh, I found it. It's called the daughter flower. And I'm like, what? And he totally did find it. It's a parasitic plant and originating from China. It wasn't like originally from here. Like it's indigenous to China. It came over as in a dried form because I guess it has medicinal benefits, which would have been cool to know before I killed it all. But it was the weirdest thing because I've never experienced it. Okay, I did not buy dirt from any kind of store. I used all of our own dirt from our own farm because I used all of our manure. I did buy seeds, obviously, for the starter. So I don't know if it came in a specific seed, or I was possibly thinking I did buy a few starters from other farms and maybe it was in those plants. And that's what started it.
It had to have been.
It's like fucking crazy.
I had never heard of that or dealt with that in
I haven't either. For years.
A while. Like, I know we're not like crazy.
I'm not some master gardener. I'm not trying to insinuate that. But I have been gardening for a very long time.
We've been around.
And I know quite a bit. And I can see something and be like, okay, that's this, or that's this, or that's this pest specifically. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And so to see this,
it would trip me out.
Well, and so Spencer was reading even more on it. And I guess, I'm getting super congested again. I guess, if you can try to remove all the vines, but if there is a host plant, and I'm pretty sure the host plant is one of my tomato plants, and it must have been one of my tomato starters I bought at some random farm.
Did you buy tomato starters?
I bought a blue cream bluebell tomato or something like that because it sounded adorable, and I was like, I'm buying that. And then I bought another an orange.
Is it on one of those?
I think it's on the orange one.
Oh.
Now that I'm thinking about it, because I did plant all those to the back of the bed that they're in.
Yeah.
And it is just covered in that one. And it's reaching though for all the other tomato plants. And it was on some of my other tomato plants. So I got it off of the tomato plants, got it off mostly of the host one. I didn't get it completely off of the host though. And Spencer's like, okay, it says if you can try to get rid of it, but you might just need to completely pull the host plant. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to fucking pull that tomato plant when I get home because it's not worth my other tomatoes.
That is just crazy to me, though. It's such a weird thing. And
what is this? It's a little gnat. It's the weirdest thing
little
ever.
Gnat. It really loves the microphones.
He does. He's like, I want to be a part of the podcast.
I know.
No, get out.
He loves microphones and boobs, apparently. I was like, Jesus.
I would say who doesn't, but I don't. I don't like boobs. Not in love with them. Like most guys are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, straight guys. I would assume gay guys wouldn't not be in love with boobs.
I
but
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't mind boobs.
I wouldn't want to.
Like, I think they look way better than like a penis.
Well, obviously, I'm not saying what looks better.
I'm just
I was
saying, like, it's like more appealing to look at like a woman's body than a man's body. No offense, men, but it just is.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
women are very
Women
pretty,
are just pretty.
And then like
Very
men,
well
you know,
proportioned.
it's just like you're like, okay, put your clothes back on.
Put your clothes. Not impressing anybody. You know, it is funny. I wonder where guys have this idea that, like, you know, all these ideas that all the comments that guys will make to each other, by the way, or to women about like their whatever penis size and what the fuck ever else.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear women sitting around talking about penis size? Do you know why? Because like no one really cares.
Or
No one
like the dick
cares.
pic thing. Like, how is that a thing? And when does a guy like, I'm gonna take a picture of my penis? And
If
send-
my husband ever sent me a picture of his
don't want
penis,
to
I would
see
be
it.
like, when he got home, I'd be like, I'm taking your phone away. I'm sorry, but 100% you did not just send me that. Like, what is happening?
I'm taking your phone.
I'm gonna actually suspend your. Yeah, I'm gonna suspend your your thing for your phone because
it's never been appealing. It's never like I would never. Ooh, like, no thanks.
Send me that pic.
Yeah.
What?
Like, no, it's not cute.
No.
It's not cute.
Send me a Starbucks gift card.
Yeah. Okay. Got some foreplay.
Much more-
It
yeah.
better be in a Starbucks gift card form.
Seriously.
Uh,
No, I'll be much more like just attracted, even, right? you're like, yes, I love you. I
with
love
a
the
green
fact.
tea latte.
That's right.
Very attracted to you.
Love you.
Holding
for
that.
the fact that you sent me that money. No. Yeah, that's why. Oh my gosh.
Agreed.
No. And the girls that do say like, oh my gosh, no, I like that, and I
Who says that?
Shut up.
Nobody
you
says
do
that.
not. No, I have heard some girls say it.
Nobody says that.
There has been some, and
Oh, they're fucking liars.
liars. You're a liar.
Girls.
What?
I said, where do we find these girls?
You would want to know.
Honest, just as all. Where do we find these girls?
They don't exist.
They don't
You
exist.
fucker.
Yeah.
In your dreams, sir.
Yeah, like if my husband ever sent me something like that, I'd be like, I'm sorry, are you like asking for medical advice? Like, what? Like, is there something wrong with that part of your body? Because that's the only reason.
Because I'm
you
not a
should be
doctor.
showing
And
me.
please no.
Yeah. Do you want me to forward this to your doctor?
No,
Like,
I'd be so mad for so many reasons. I'd be mad because like I've never asked for that. I don't want to see that. That's weird. And then B, I'd be super mad because my kids always have my phone. And if my kids open my phone and their father's penis is on the phone,
Ew.
you are in a load of trouble, sir. Loads of trouble. No fucking way.
That's when you'd be like, yes, he has a rash, honey. Like, what? He's asking for advice. Something keeps stabbing me in my finger.
See, I would not even be able to be that quick-witted with that. I would be like,
You'd be so mad.
hold on, I'll be right back. I have to go call your dad.
I have to go divorce your father.
I would
That
be
is
seriously so mad.
funny. So fucking funny. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, women's bodies are way more appealing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like attracted to women's bodies. I'm just saying, like, whatever. Like, they are just prettier. They're just prettier.
Yeah, no, hands
Less
down.
hairy,
Yeah.
you
no,
know?
I'm
Like,
not all
everything
about-
is just
yeah.
more appealing about, like, a woman's body than, like,
Less hairy.
I know. It's like, guys are like, fucking wax that shit or something. Jesus. What are we doing here? This isn't, like, fucking Neanderthals. Like, we're not living in a fucking cave.
You know what's interesting is I think that's a very generational thing too, though.
Waxing?
Just
Hairiness?
yeah, hairiness. Yeah,
Why?
it's weird. I even hate the word in my mouth
I hate the word.
because it
Sherry's like, I'm gonna go take a shot just so I don't can rinse my mouth out.
Sorry, baby. No, so when mom and dad generation, that was like you saw all the movie stars, everybody on like big screens. They were all like super hairy. It's weird,
That's
right?
true, that's true.
And then you
like
have
hairy
nowadays
chest. Like, what's his name with the mustache? What's his name?
that mom
loves
likes.
him.
Yeah.
What's his name? Somebody
shut
yell it
up!
to me.
Stop saying what's your name. What's his name? I'm the only one that can tell you.
Dark hair in all the cop movies.
Mom is screaming it right now.
Mustache guy.
She's like, it's.
And he
this,
has like
it's-
he has like a hairy chest, and it's like, ew.
Yeah, but anyways, it's that guy. Baywatch guy, right? That's who you're talking
No,
about.
it's not Baywatch. It's not Baywatch.
Oh, no, it's not
No, it's
Baywatch.
like-
I'm confusing those two
like-
guys because...
Blue Bloods.
Yeah, Blue Bloods guy. Okay, so that's who we're talking about. The main character in Blue Bloods, he's older now.
Yeah. Whatever. The
Definitely wouldn't wanna see him with those
Marlboro
clothes
guy.
off.
Marl. I can't say that.
Whatever. We clearly have no, because, like, we just don't care. Anyways, but they used to be, yeah, very generational. Isn't that so funny?
Yeah, because
I
like
had-
now, like, you know, you look like Zac Efron and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like, if he had a hairy
exactly.
chest, I'd be like, get the fuck off the screen, Zac Efron. Nobody wants
How
to see
dare
that
you.
shit.
Come back after you've waxed
after
that.
you've waxed your chest. Yeah, that's weird. You're
Yeah.
right. It is a generation.
Yeah, it's
thing.
very funny.
I'm like really weird with that kind of stuff though. Like I am not like, I don't know, because I even think like the generation, like Aiden's age.
Yeah.
You know, like the girls and stuff. I feel like they're way more like okay without shaving, and I know that's like very like whatever.
Really?
I
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I have. It's very unfortunate for me. Very unfortunate. I just,
That is
I don't know.
unfortunate for
Yeah.
you.
I
Yeah.
know that it shouldn't be like, you know, women should have to, you know, shave and whatever, but like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No. No. For
couldn't
me
do it.
personally,
Yeah. Personally, I'm like, I'm never going to lift my arm. You're never going to be like, are you holding a cat? like, no.
is there a guinea pig on your arm? What's happening? Little baby guinea pig?
You're never going to be like confused. Like,
So you're welcome. We will never confuse you in that way.
because
No, and I
I can't stand it.
but like I like
Personally.
definitely shave like for me though. Like it's a very selfish
Oh,
thing.
for sure. But like, I wonder why
this
we're
is-
because we're both like that. Like, you know, I'm like, and like in the shower, like, you know, I'm like legs, like, you know, everything all
Yeah.
the time. And like if like no, I can't. Like when I'm like sick or something, like I'm not even that person that's like it's wintertime, I don't have to shave my legs. Like I'm not that person.
I don't. Okay, and I guess I can kind of get it because you're always wearing pants. But like the problem with that is like when you do go to shave finally after winter is over. I mean, you're not talking a couple of days here. You're talking months. I mean, how do you do that? You go through 5 fucking razors shaving one leg. You know what I mean? It's just like it's
don't
like
know.
no way, no.
No, because I don't like the feeling though. Of
I do
like,
not like the feeling,
like
no.
hairy legs and stuff, and like no,
No.
ew, no. Even if I'm in the winter,
Like
wearing
there's
pants.
reasons
Maybe
I'm never
maybe
like
that's
caressing
a,
my husband's leg because he doesn't shave. I mean, maybe if you shaved.
I need you to be like an Olympic swimmer, okay? Everything, all the hair must
That's
be
right.
gone. Yeah.
See, Shauna, we were both destined to
So-
marry Olympic swimmers.
Because of my
Damn
like,
it.
like my issue with like hair and stuff, and I always am like commenting to my husband and stuff like that. Like I have a problem, right? Because I'm like I don't know, I don't like it. I have like a weird thing. Ronan, my son, you know, he's like, Mom, he's like, when I'm older, he's like, I'm just gonna wax everything. I was like, you probably should, buddy. Your wife will appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's already like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's gross. It's weird when like guys lift their arms and they're like have hairy armpits. I was like, yeah, it's weirder when it's a girl for some reason. I know that sounds sexist, but it freaks me out. But yeah, guys do.
It is very sexist, but I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just our culture. I mean, you're not
Just-
ever going to escape it.
Yeah, well,
In
like,
this culture, at least.
and how we were raised too. We were just
What were we? I'm like, we weren't really raised like that. Like, what I remember being, I mean, Mom was telling us we couldn't shave past our fucking knees at one point at a certain age. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe that's why. We're like, we wanted to shave our thighs and you wouldn't let us, so now we have trauma from that.
we're a little obsessive
We're a
about
little
hair.
crazy. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe it was just looking at the Marlboro guy. all
Who
the
we don't
time.
remember. What's the guy's
What's the
name?
guy's name in Blue
Honest?
Bloods, honey? The
Main character.
big mustache guy?
Tom Selleck?
There we
Tom
go.
Selleck. Good
Knew you
job.
would know it.
I wasn't
Honest
even.
saved
I
the
couldn't
day.
even like think
No,
of it a little
no,
bit.
I couldn't even think
like
of
it
it.
wasn't even like
I
kind of
couldn't
on
even
my.
think
It
of it a
wasn't like
little bit.
It wasn't like on the tip of my tongue. It was
I
like
I
nothing.
couldn't think of his first name, last name, nothing.
nothing.
Like I was like
nothing. I was like I
just
could picture him. I was like he has a huge mustache. It's gross. It's weird. It's like we get it. You're like an '80s cop. Like it's over. It's over.
it was a while ago, hon. It was a while ago.
Mom's so mad at us right now. Mom's like, he's beautiful.
No, She doesn't need to be mad at us. Mom can have her opinions. That's
Yeah,
fine.
have
You
your
think he's beautiful,
opinions.
Mom.
Yeah, you do
That's
it.
right.
You love your hairy men.
Uh,
All right, so I think that's it for this episode.
Lots
super
of topics discussed.
Yeah, we're not going to really know how to title this one. What?
This is off.
It's off? Oh, great. Well, we fucked up the video portion of this one.
Yeah. Your phone's not on. Again, you pressed it so that button is holding on.
Oh, well, Sherry ruined it.
Ah,
Anyways,
okay.
we're going to sign off for today, but thank you guys
And
all.
you won't see a video. You're just going to hear our beautiful voices. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And
So all
thank
those
you
things
for-
when we're getting up and down, they're not going to, and you were like, you gave them, yeah, see, they're not going to see any of that.
It
Me
was working earlier.
freaking out about the bug? Nothing.
Nothing. Damn it.
I know. So anyways, thank you guys all so much for listening.
Yes. And if you want to get a hold of us, reach out through email, ourkindofhomesteading@gmail.com. Reach out through Instagram. Facebook has been down. Sorry about that. We will hopefully be kind of redoing a new page. It was attached to my Facebook and it was hacked and taken down. No idea. Anyways, also reviews. If you have not yet, please go and leave reviews. That would be wonderful, and we absolutely love it. We forgot to check the reviews though,
We always do. We have a
and we always say that.
have a
We
mental
forgot to check
block.
the
I
reviews.
checked them last week.
Never mind. Honest checked them.
Good job.
And so we keep checking those, or Honest keeps checking those, and we,
When we say
read them
we, we
aloud.
mean him.
When we say we, and we like to read them aloud and stuff. So leave reviews. We absolutely love it, and we will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
Happy homesteading.
Goodbye.
Okay. Well, cool.